I'm Aaron Graber with Ventrac, and this is the 45RC. The 45RC is a remote control tractor, and it's the first of its kind from Ventrac. It's super exciting because this is a machine that you can operate just like normal with the operator in the operator's seat, or you can step off the machine and in less than a minute be remote controlling it from a distance away. I'm going to split this up into two separate conversations: traditional operation and remote control operation. Obviously, when you're remote controlling this unit, there's going to be a whole host of advantages of the operator not having to be on the seat of the machine. If you're familiar with the standard 4520 from Ventrac, you'll see that this machine looks very similar to it. And in fact, it does share a lot of the componentry and a lot of the application. So when you remote control, it's going to operate a lot like a standard 4520, just with the operator separated from the machine. Of course, this brings some natural benefits. Depending on the environment you're working in, it's nice to have the operator separate and away from the machine, but still in total control. The feature that is remote control is exactly what drove the 45RC project to begin, to take shape through R&D, and then finally to land at a finished production product that looks exactly like this. With typical remote control machines that exist in the marketplace today, they are very dedicated to remote control usage. We knew we didn't want that from the beginning, but what we also knew is that since it wasn't going to be a dedicated remote control platform, we had to be able to get there quickly and seamlessly. Because of that, you can start from operating this tractor as normal, put it in park, turn it off, and switch to remote control in less than a minute. Because the operator has that ability to get into remote control operation on this tractor in such a short time frame in a seamless way, you can go back and forth between one operation and the other. I recently used this tractor on the perfect site to demonstrate the duality of this machine. The site was about 10 acres in total. It was a dam, and the dam only occupied about half an acre. What I did was I used the 45RC to remote control and operate the dam area only. Then I got on the tractor and I physically mowed the other 9.5 acres, and I finished that job in just a couple hours. If I would have to use a machine that was remote control only on a site like that, it would definitely take me all day to mow, because the lack of efficiency that I and other operators have in fully remote control mode just takes longer. Remote control operation of this tractor might seem like a very complex thing, and while there is a lot of engineering and technicality that goes into building this machine, from the operator standpoint, using the remote control for the 45RC is actually pretty simple. We've got it mounted to the side of the tractor, so I'm going to go over here and pull it off just to highlight really quickly what that looks like. If you take this off of the tractor, in order to get into remote control mode, all you have to do is flip one switch on the dash and do the start sequence of this remote, and you have actually full access to the 45RC to be able to drive it around and operate. We do have a technical video that's a deep dive on this remote control and all of the buttons and switches and what they do, but just know that once you're connected to the tractor, and again, that happens in less than a minute, this is very simple to run because the controls are a lot like when you're on the seat of the machine. Speaking of the remote control itself, there are a few other points I want to make before I start talking about traditional operation. There are a few features that are unique to this machine, one of them being that on this screen you can actually turn this dial to see a video live feed of what's happening of this machine. So while it's in operation, there's a camera that's mounted right up here on the ROPS, and if you turn the screen on to video mode, you'll see a view of what the deck is actually cutting and where the machine is headed. That's of course a nice visual aid for the operator to see obstacles that are around the tractor when it's working and to be able to control that machine in a better way. Another feature that we have designed into the 45RC is proximity control. So this remote will be able to understand up to 150 feet how far away it is from the tractor itself, and based on that distance will allow the operator to do certain functions or not, and give the operator alerts about that distance away. This makes it so that the operator can stay hyper connected to the tractor and understand the status of the machine relative to the operator's position so that they can make all of the right choices for the controls and all of the functionality that they're using on the machine at that time. And lastly, before I put this remote down, I do want to mention the remote itself. This thing is heavy, it's built like a brick. We spec'd an industrial quality remote because some of the machines that are out there on the market don't have that level of detail, and we know that the 45RC is going to end up in professional users' hands doing very important jobs, and they need durability out of it and they need it to last. Since that doesn't just extend to the tractor, we really have to care about this piece itself. And this is something that's going to fulfill that promise to our professional users, and they're going to be able to have this in their fleet for a long time. In addition to the technical deep dive on the remote itself, we've got another video coming that is the operational overview of the tractor. That's going to talk about all of the controls and all of the operator ergonomics that you'll experience when you're actually driving this machine. And that's the second part of this video. The unbelievable advantage of the 45RC is that we didn't just stop at the remote control part of it. The remote control operation was the primary focus of R&D on this tractor. And even though we hit all of our targets there and ended up with a machine that operates brilliantly in those conditions, it also adds a whole host of features for when the operator is controlling the machine in traditional mode that aren't even a benefit on the remote control. The main reason behind this is because this tractor is electric over hydraulic. That means that all of the drive controls are electric inputs, and because of that, it gave us a lot of freedom to redesign the ergonomics that the operator interfaces with and to focus on how those controls actually translate to movements with the machine. There's a new joystick on the 45RC that replaces the mechanical hydraulic link on the 4520, and that joystick adds functionality and features and is also easier to use for the operator. It reduces fatigue, it's more adjustable for different operator sizes, and it adds new features. Two of those features that come into play when you're in standard operation on this tractor are V-trim and smart power. V-trim is a selectable drive control that allows the operator to independently control the RPM of the engine and the full potential drive speed of the traction unit. That feature is super convenient because it gives the operator two things: the ability to set drive speeds in a more consistent and repeatable way, and the ability to add machine control when you dial V-trim down to the lower modes. The second feature that the electronic drive controls of this machine allow for is what we call smart power. Smart power is a feature that allows the machine to do some of the thinking for the operator, and it makes the operator more efficient. We'll go into a deeper dive on the machine overview about that feature, so be sure to check that video out. From the operator station, you'll also notice that this tractor has a brand new digital display. That digital display houses all of the operating information that you need to know when this machine is in use, and it even has a standard slope gauge built right into the display. We've talked about the remote control functionality, we've talked about the new features, the operator ergonomics, the advancements in how the machine is drive controlled, and now I want to talk about something that's not new at all. It's in fact just the same, which is the chassis of this tractor. It is almost entirely based off of the chassis of the 4520, which means that you can expect when you operate the 45RC that it's going to have the same advantages that everyone who has used the 4520 knows and loves. This tractor has the same incredible stability as the 4520. It drives across undulating terrain and interacts with that terrain in the same way. It's predictable, controllable, and it's easy to operate. Because of those similarities, an operator that's familiar with current Ventrac equipment is going to feel right at home on the seat of a 45RC. And when they have the remote control in their hands, there's a short learning curve, and once you've got that mastered, it is just as controllable even when you're not on the tractor. Following on that same theme, I've got the 45RC today shown connected to the Tough Cut deck, and it's able to do that because the tractor itself has the same hitch arms as a 4520. Before we close this out, I want to talk about pricing and ship date for the 45RC. These units are going to be hitting retail locations in January of 2025, so if you're interested in an order of one of these machines, be sure to reach out to your local Ventrac dealer and ask them about availability. The starting retail price for the 45RC is $62,500. And that includes the tractor and all of the remote control hardware. The only other things you need to add to this machine to make it look like what you see in the photo here is a dual wheel kit and a mower deck, which also adds about $6,500 of retail cost. I just want to say that this is a product that is so exciting to me. I've used it in a lot of different situations, and it brings this really interesting, unique advantage to the Ventrac platform. Remote control adds something really special to it. Driving the machine, even in standard operation, is a totally different experience that adds a bunch of features and functionality. The 45RC really is the next step in the evolution of the 4520 platform, and it makes it something that is really just something to behold. It's really special. As mentioned, we do have more 45RC content coming, namely the technical resources that explain the tractor itself and the remote control and how to use them. Those videos will be available in the future on our YouTube channel. Be sure to check back in to be able to see those videos and to see other highlights of the 45RC in operation. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that now. Check out our website at ventrac.com for more 45RC information. And if you have any questions about this product at all, be sure to leave a comment on this video or reach out to us at the factory. Thanks for watching.